The sun comes up, the light turns on, and the natural world erupts into a new day. Animals wake in burrows, colonies, and branches to sing the sun's praises and launch into their daily chores. It's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And Asia's creatures spend their bonus minutes of daylight to survive another day, searching for food, fighting for dominance, and raising their families. All the daily dramas of their lives unfold in the hours from dawn to dusk. "4:30 a.m. And across Asia, the night shift winds down. In southern China, a night stalker searches for a pre-dawn snack. The slow loris. A primate built for life in the treetops. The slow loris lives up to his name, seldom traveling more than 30 meters a night. Like most of his kind, he browses with his mate. Most nights, tree resin and nectar are the main course. But just before daybreak, they get a whiff of something special. With extra sensitive night vision, the male spots what he's after. A protein-packed cricket. Slow motion proves the slow loris can be fast when it counts. His partner also finds a munchie. Bellies full and bedtime looming, the lorises tuck themselves in, giving the forest over to the day shift. To the south in Thailand, more night owls drag in. Lyle's flying foxes, misnamed members of the bat family. Unlike most bats, they lack the gift of echolocation. Instead, they navigate by sight and smell. For a bat that can't see in total darkness, a bat cave is out of the question. Up to 8,000 pack into a single colony. For a bat as big as a guinea pig, it's tight quarters. Scant elbow room leads to sharp elbows. Peace at last. Ahead, 13 rare hours of daylight and quiet. Reveille in the rainforest. Rise and shine. A male gibbon starts his day with a solo performance. He even has a built-in amp, a sound-amplifying throat sac that carries his tune up to 1 kilometer away. It's a wake-up call for his duet partner, who immediately sings back. Roughly translated, the lyrics go, "I'm hers, she's mine, this is ours." Not original, but effective. Like others on the day shift, they wake up with an empty belly. But for gibbons, getting from bedroom to breakfast table is a cakewalk. It's all in the wrist action. A unique ball and socket joint increases flexibility, absorbs shock, and saves energy. The result? A morning commute that can top 50 kilometers an hour. When he can't swing, he flies. At the end of the road, fruit. Breakfast of champions. On the longest day of the year, Laos has 2 more hours of daylight, while China has nearly 4. One creature can really use the extra time. To the north, in the mountainous forests of China's Yunnan province, another tree dweller awakes. Without the gibbon's alarm clock. The quiet and solitary red panda. He lives on junk food. Bamboo leaves so poor in nutrients, he eats for half the day to get enough. To make matters worse, his habitat is shrinking. He's a walking conundrum, programmed by nature to fend off rival males, even though rivals these days are rare. As he forages, he automatically builds a great wall of scent from glands on his feet. And for good measure, a musky gland at his tail. Against the odds, an intruder has defied his warnings. It's no rival. It's a female. A chance to boost the population. But their timing is off. Mating season isn't for another 6 months. For now, he savors the extra hours to stuff himself. In Vietnam, it's breakfast time too for this troop of long-tailed macaques. The mangrove swamp is a floating buffet of nuts, seeds, and insects. Most monkeys won't even put a toe in the water. But long-tailed macaques aren't most monkeys. They're one of the few primates that live the life aquatic. They store their catch in large cheek pouches, freeing their hands for swimming. When there's not enough food on the surface, there's a banquet of sunken seeds and small crustaceans waiting on the bottom. He can hold his breath more than 30 seconds. A fact that surprises even a macaque. Like the macaques, Asia's largest land animals live amid plenty. But like the red pandas, the elephant's diet is low in nutrients. To compensate, they'll spend their 13 hours of daylight and more eating. Every day, they inhale more than 150 kilos of grass and leaves. Around 10% of their body weight. None of this gorging would be possible without a trunk with 100,000 muscles. Mastering all of them will take a couple of years. The whole herd guards the calves as they learn to eat without being eaten. A tiger that won't dare take on an adult will pounce on a calf. And as they graze, they're all eyes and ears. False alarm. Of course, the youngsters investigate the fuss. And Mum overreacts. Which just proves that helicopter parents come in all sizes. In Vietnam, other parents enlist helpers to raise their young. During the breeding season, the purple swamp hen lives in small groups. And like the elephants, everyone shares the responsibility for raising the chicks, including last year's young. This big brother isn't ready to mate yet, so he's enrolled in parenting school. Babysitting his younger siblings gives him a chance to gain some experience under supervision. The extra help means that the parents can have 2 broods a season. But even with childcare, there's no time to relax. Osprey patrol these wetlands. With few places to hide and poor flying skills, the swamp hen's main defense is psychological. While they feed, they continually flash their white rumps. A trick which lets the predator know it's been spotted. There's no need for the chicks to worry, at least not until they hear the danger call. That means the threat is very real. With the element of surprise lost, the osprey abandons the hunt. And for now, the family is safe. The flying foxes have stopped squabbling. They're fast asleep in the midday swelter. Except, of course, the mums. Their work is never done. Her pup is just a few weeks old. Too young to hang from a branch yet. It won't be ready for solid food for 4 months, so today it nurses on milk. Then comes its daily bath, a ritual that locks its scent into Mum's memory. In a couple of weeks, her little one will have grown too large to carry. She'll have to leave it behind while she forages. In a colony of thousands, bonding will help her find her pup when she returns to the roost. Till then, she does everything with baby on board. Over 4,000 meters above sea level, on the Tibetan plateau, today marks a milestone for another infant. For this baby Tibetan bear, the only food it knows is mother's milk. In several months, that source will run dry. On the longest day of the year, the cub is about to learn to hunt. This is prey, but the wrong prey. This rare subspecies of the brown bear prefers a bite-sized meal. Meet the pika, Mum's favorite snack. These tasty morsels make up more than half her diet. So, when a pika sees her coming, it goes to ground. Mum shows how it's done. And the cub digs right in. With some beginner's luck, the plucky little bear scores his first catch. In the subtropical forests of southern China, other youngsters are too young to hunt. Rare clouded leopard cubs. 6 months old and hungry. Normally, they'd be digesting and napping now. Instead, they wait for Mum to return from a night of hunting. Maybe with a slow loris. So what do kids do while the cat's away? Of all big cats, clouded leopards are among the best climbers. With skills like this, they're almost ready to catch their own loris. Or maybe not. Hard work on an empty stomach. In Laos, another parent never forages at all. A prisoner in a tower. A prison she built herself. To guard her eggs from predators, she sealed the entrance to her nest with fruit pulp, mud, and feces, leaving a gap just big enough for her beak. Who is this mysterious mother? The great hornbill. While the father still flies free, the female depends entirely on him to bring her food for more than 2 months until their chicks fledge and her captivity ends. If he dies in the line of duty, his imprisoned family will starve to death. Today, he'll make 5 round trips. A father as devoted as the mother. Back in the mangroves of Vietnam, time and tide wait for no one. But one creature waits for both. Since 7:30 this morning, the waters have been receding. The creature you'd least expect to welcome dry land is a fish. The blue-spotted mudskipper's day revolves around the tides. She walks on limb-like pectoral fins while she forages. And low tide lays out a feast. A smorgasbord of microscopic slime. She has gills like other fish, and something they don't. She can suck oxygen from a mouthful of air. She can even breathe through her skin, so long as she keeps it wet. Even a mudskipper can go too far, intruding on a larger female's turf. The fight is on. All bets are on the big one. Better to eat than fight. For this fish out of water, time and tide march on. Noon in Thailand. The mercury climbs to 40 degrees Celsius. Lyle's flying foxes swelter. Too much sun, too little shade. Worst of all, they can't sweat. Fortunately, nature has given these bats their own built-in air conditioning. Their wings are packed with blood vessels. Flapping cools the blood as it circulates, like water through a car's radiator. The more they flap, the cooler they get. The only catch is they can't flap and sleep at the same time. Some manage to have it both ways, dispelling heat without all the effort. Keeping cool poses a bigger challenge for the elephants. Huge bodies and few sweat glands is a formula for overheating. They take a cue from the flying foxes. Each minute, an elephant can pump up to 12 liters of blood through each ear. Flapping their giant ears dumps heat and lowers their body temperature a few degrees. Dirt is nature's sunscreen, but it doesn't provide much cooling. A noon shower is even better. But it only whets their appetite for the full plunge. Elephants are distant cousins of aquatic manatees and dugongs. Perhaps that's why a 2-ton giant is so buoyant. Even the youngest take to water like they were born to it. In the deep end of the pool, a baby deploys a built-in snorkel. What youngster takes a bath without making a splash? Okay, everyone out of the pool. Just 5 more minutes. While Thailand roasts, it's only 16 degrees on the roof of the world, Tibet. Yet these Tibetan macaques feel the heat as intensely as lowland creatures. They're dressed for the harsh alpine winter in a thick fur coat. In the height of summer, it's stifling. Who doesn't like a cool drink on a hot day? But why stop there? While others lie low at midday, a night owl prowls. Time loses meaning deep in a cave in Laos. Darkness reigns 24/7. Perfect conditions for a night stalker. The giant huntsman. One of the world's largest spiders. She's the size of a dinner plate, and right now, her plate is empty. She doesn't bother spinning webs. As her name would suggest, she's a hunter. She can't see very well in the dark, but her spidey senses tingle. Her limbs detect the tiniest vibrations. A shot of venom, and she can dine at her leisure. Nearby lurks an intruder. A rank opportunist from the outside world. This three-horned scaled pit viper should be in bed. He's neither a cave dweller nor a day hunter. He's just hungry. In the darkness, he's virtually blind. But he's equipped with infrared cameras, heat-seeking sensors that detect the bats. Warm-blooded and out of reach. He needs something a little closer to the ground. The viper can also smell its prey. And it's caught a scent deeper in the cave. The frog is cold-blooded, invisible to thermal sensors. But the pit viper can smell it somewhere. It's just a matter of who makes the first move. A narrow escape. High on the Tibetan plateau, another predator seeks a late lunch. A male Tibetan fox heads off to find fresh meat, while his mate guards their den. They take turns hunting till their young can be left home alone. The plateau's favorite snack, a pika. The pika keeps a vigilant watch for predators. So the fox must be stealthy. If he's spotted, the pika will go to ground. No fresh meat today. After digesting their feast, the long-tailed macaques take some time out to relax. And perform a daily ritual, ridding each other of biting bugs. Grooming is more than hygiene. It's politics. Part of a pecking order that governs everything from eating to mating. Strict hierarchy dictates which females groom which, and for how long. On the left is a low-ranking handmaid. Faithful service today may curry favor within her troop tomorrow. No one is immune from palace intrigue. These young princes don't know their play is a matter of life and death. When they become adults, the alpha of the troop will drive them out. The bonds they forge now may save them one day. When that day comes, they'll need allies in exile. In Thailand, the moment of truth has already arrived for the world's tallest flying bird. The nearly 2-meter-tall eastern Saris crane. Once they mate, it's till death do they part. For this suitor, today is make or break. A stunning female catches his eye. His whole future hangs on a show-stopping performance. First, he waits for an invitation to dance. She accepts. And it's showtime. She doesn't seem impressed. He's going to have to pull out his best moves. So, what's her verdict? Clear enough. Eastern Saris cranes are so faithful. In India, they're a symbol of fidelity. Partners for life. Down the coast from the mud skipper, another critter races the incoming tide. Strange spheres cover the shore. The sand bubbler crab has had a busy day. These balls are leftovers of its microscopic meals. Using its claws like spoons, it feasts on myofauna, tiny creatures that live in the sand. As it dines, it cleans the beach by filtering the sand particles. Forming balls of remains prevents cleaning the same sand twice. Like the mud skipper, this tiny crustacean frantically forages before the tide covers the beach. It works methodically outward from its burrow. Unfortunately, so does its neighbor. Precious minutes lost in a fight no one wins, as sand runs through the hourglass. After stuffing their faces this morning, the long-tailed macaques go back for seconds. Dynastic life means constant tests of the pecking order over food. The upside of communal life. Someone's always looking out for trouble. It's dinner time for a 2-meter-long water monitor. Even with the predator gone, no one seems keen to get back in the water. The picnic is ruined. Like macaques, elephants have a pecking order. It doesn't mean much to these two yet. But nearby, a pair of adolescent males are about to put it to the test. A raised trunk is a formal challenge. Challenge accepted. It's just sparring, testing their strength and honing their skill. One day they'll have to fight to woo a female. Females breed only every 4 to 5 years. Today, this bull follows a rare siren song, the low-frequency call of a female in heat. Humans can barely hear it, but other males likely have. He may have to fight for a rare privilege, the right to mate. He follows the call for more than 3 kilometers. Not exactly speed dating. It's his lucky day. She's alone. With zero competition, courtship is a brief affair. After a short pursuit, she makes a choice that will impact the next 7 years of her life. Dusk is still 2 hours away in Laos, but the Lahr gibbons have already called it a day. No one complains about going to bed early. In fact, bedtime may be a survival tactic. By retiring before nocturnal predators wake up, gibbons lower the risk of being detected and followed to their nighttime perch, 30 meters up. As the day wanes, prime time for fishing arrives. The pied kingfisher is the emperor of anglers. Most kingfishers dive from a perch, but not the pied kingfisher. This female puts physics into practice. She beats her wings horizontally, not vertically, to achieve lift without thrust. her mate lines up his own target. Hovering is a gift usually reserved for the smallest of birds. The pied kingfisher is the largest bird that can hover, even though its wings beat almost 10 times slower than a hummingbird's. He has a built-in bomb sight, high-res vision to lock onto prey underwater, and judge the depth of his dive. Bullseye. They succeed up to half the time. Today, they're batting 1,000. After patiently waiting for the longest day of the year to set, the night shift gets ready to shine. Just like us, bats have an internal clock, a circadian rhythm. Just before sunset, their alarm goes off. Families groom and bond, waiting for the magic hour. Thousands of pilots, and a marvel of air traffic control. They zoom at 100 kilometers an hour in close proximity. The secret to such tight formation is echolocation. This built-in sonar helps them locate and track their neighbors' positions. Tiny muscles in their wings perform micro-maneuvers and stave off mid-air collisions. From there, it's just follow the leader. Dusk is when their insect prey is most active. But bats aren't the only hunters on the wing. A hawk. Raptors prefer to target a lone bat on the edge of the swarm. It succeeds more often when attacking the crowd. But it can't just zoom into the formation of bats. That would risk a collision and possibly injury. Tonight's air raid fails. But better to fly another day than return with clipped wings. The massed squadrons will have good hunting. As the shortest night of the year settles over Asia.
The sun comes up, the light turns on, and the natural world erupts into a new day. Animals wake in burrows, colonies, and branches to sing the sun's praises and launch into their daily chores. On New Zealand's many islands, birds of all feathers celebrate the summer heat with new beginnings and time for play. But tempers can also run hot. And danger is never far away. As all the daily dramas of their lives unfold in the hours from dawn to dusk. It's the night before Christmas in New Zealand. Dawn is not far off. Something stirs in the undergrowth. New Zealand's most iconic creature winds up its day's work before dawn. It's a kiwi, the flightless bird that lends its name to the country's people. There are no native land mammals here, so she does a job done elsewhere by hedgehogs, sniffing out worms and insects in the leaf litter. Once upon a time, giant birds of prey tormented her ancestors. Although the old enemies are long gone, her kind still avoids daylight. But the same people who borrowed her name introduced new predators. Efficient mammalian hunters. A stoat can kill creatures much larger than itself. It's caught the scent of her partner on the nest. Stoats love eggs. But an angry kiwi dad, not so much. From the kiwi's burrow in the south to the Bay of Plenty in the north, the last minutes of darkness tick away over New Zealand. For flying fish, there's still time to feast on the plankton that comes to the surface at night. But larger hunters also like to feed in the dark. Kingfish strike on scene from below. The flyers take off. They can't be caught mid-air. There's no predicting where they'll touch down. But the torpedo-shaped kingfish quickly get their bearings, catch up, and destroy their targets. Leaving only scraps to drift down to the seafloor. The Bay of Plenty lies near the top of New Zealand's 3 main islands. The North Island, South Island, and smaller Stewart Island. But there are hundreds more scattered far from the main 3. The Chatham Islands are 800 kilometers to the east. So far east that the Chatham Islands are one of the first places in the world to see the sunrise. Although there are barely 600 people there to witness it. Most of the 10 islands are small and uninhabited. Instead, a family of brown skuas greet the sun on tiny Rangutira Island. They're nocturnal hunters, picking off smaller seabirds as they return to their nests in the forest at night. And bringing the leftovers home for breakfast. She's picked off a small petrel. Thousands nest in these forests. No reason she should share this one with her mate. Their babies are another matter, of course. Christmas Day down under is the height of summer. A time of plenty, when one family's loss is another family's feast. As the Chatham skua chicks tuck into breakfast, dawn breaks at last over the Bay of Plenty, almost an hour after it lit up the Chathams. The pre-dawn slaughter at the surface has ended. But below the waves, the banquet is just beginning. This short-tailed stingray usually detects prey by the electrical signals all living creatures emit. The lifeless scraps of flying fish aren't broadcasting anymore. But the ray also has an excellent sense of smell. Nearby, a snapper snaps up a scrap that a comb star was gunning for. But it leaves a pectoral fin as a consolation prize. Two toxic scorpionfish must settle a dispute over dominance before they join the party. The victor appears unaffected by a mouthful of his opponent's poisonous spines. His reward? A choice piece of tail. That's more leftovers than the kingfish intended to leave. It's his, for as long as he can hold on to it. The ocean is a battlefield, but tiny islands are a refuge for many land animals. Small islands are easier to rid of the introduced mammals that plague the mainland, and the sea stops them from coming back. Little Barrier Island is close to the country's biggest city, but it's off-limits to people. It preserves some of New Zealand's best primordial forest and rarest species. Morning reveals the largest native land predator. This tuatara is less than 20 centimeters long. Granted, it's got some growing to do. The larger adults are mostly nocturnal, but the babies prefer daylight hours. Possibly to avoid being eaten by the adults. On the mainland, these youngsters would be snapped up by introduced mammals like stoats long before they reach sexual maturity at 10 years. Tuatara are Time Lords. This male may breed well into his hundreds. For now, he's just warming up a little before the day gets too hot. He doesn't like the heat, unlike lizards, which he is most definitely not. Their families parted ways 250 million years ago. He's a rhynchocephalian, the last survivor of a once proud global dynasty. Also safe on Little Barrier Island is the rare blue-wattled kokako. This morning, like every morning, this couple sings together for up to an hour. Their haunting duet lets other kokako know the two birds defend this territory. The morning's recital should prevent any physical confrontations. And free them up to focus on more pressing duties. Morning on Little Barrier Island is a time of hectic activity and almost deafening song from dozens of bird species. Like the kokako, many are raising young in this time of plenty. All around the island's coast, ancient pohutakawa are a riot of green and red. Which is why the human kiwis also call it the New Zealand Christmas tree. They're serving a festive breakfast for many nectar-loving songbirds. Tui are the bullies of the trees, lording it over smaller birds, like the korimako and the tiny hihi, which has disappeared from the mainland. As has the red-wattled tieke, the only living relatives of the kokako. And kaka, lowland parrots, that use the island as a summer resort. Little Barrier Island preserves the bird's primordial home as it was before introduced mammals ravaged the mainland. A morning safe from invaders, that's something to crow about. Hundreds of kilometers to the southeast, in the Bay of Plenty, White Island is anything but a safe haven. Here, the sun stirs life into a colony of 10,000 Australasian gannets. They've made their nests on the flanks of New Zealand's most active volcano. Only the crater wall blocks their view of the hellmouth on their doorstep. A bubbling lake of hot acid fills the crater. Fumaroles belch noxious gases. And rocks and boulders ejected by eruptions litter the landscape. This is a dangerous place to set up home. Any day could be the gannet's last. But the island is in the path of currents that bring ocean-going fish right to their doorstep. That's why they stick around. This male has a chick relying on him for food. He must find it. And hope his home is still there when he gets back. 1,700 kilometers south, it's the same time of day, but very different weather. The sub-antarctic Auckland Island volcanoes are extinct, but no less inhospitable for the lack of lava. It may be summer, but a white Christmas is always a possibility. Today's forecast is for a high of 9 degrees, with occasional hail. No showy subtropical Christmas trees here. The stunted rata are their more demure cold climate cousins. The birds are hardier down here too. Yellow-eyed penguins were made for this weather. They are pictures of domestic bliss. Mums, dads, and in most homes, 2 chicks. These little fluffballs were born last week. While one parent stays with them for warmth and protection, the other joins a fishing party setting out for the beach. They have a good reason for preferring the safety of marching to the sea in groups. Their mortal enemies are also here to breed. New Zealand sea lions are confirmed penguin eaters. These sub-adult males, or Sammies, are too young to win mating rights. So they have a lot of time to kill. Right now, they're practicing for future mating battles, giving the penguins the chance to sneak past unmolested. But there's still the adults to contend with. The smaller, sandy-colored females are here to give birth. The 400-kilo beachmasters are here for the females. They become receptive a few days after pupping. Each bull has fought hard for the right to lord it over 20 or so females. But the brawling continues. Unlike the monogamous penguins, the beach masters are always trying to steal females away from neighboring males. At last, the penguins make it to the relative safety of the sea. And it is relative. To survive the icy sub-antarctic water, both penguins and sea lions pack lots of fatty insulation. So much blubber in one place attracts the attention of nature's blubber connoisseurs. Summer brings great white sharks to the islands. We don't know if these mysterious animals are also here to mate, or if they've just come for the smorgasbord. One decides to try the mutton bird while waiting for the main course. The sea lion mothers must also take their chances with the sharks. They need food to make their milk. But to do that, they have to get away from the sexually aggressive males that dog their every move. This group of females is cooking up a scheme. They've waited for high tide, so there's less distance to cover. Is everybody ready? One mother doesn't join the other females at sea. She won't need her milk. For the local skuas, this is the most wonderful time of the year. They scavenge much more on the Auckland Islands than their cousins in the Chathams do. Well fed on seabirds he caught last night, this Chatham male has little to do with his morning other than patrol his territory. Which he shares with the mother of his chicks. Or possibly the mother of his chicks. It's complicated. They both mated with her. Ménage à trois are popular with Chatham skuas. It may give them an edge in securing the best territories. Whatever the reason, they're all devoted to each other and to whoever's chicks they are. Like the skua, these dusky dolphins on the east coast of the South Island are night hunters. These are commuters, shift workers on the morning train back home. They've spent the night feeding on squid in deep offshore waters. Bellies full, they're in a celebratory mood. They plan to spend the rest of the day resting and relaxing in safer, shallower water. When unexpected relatives call in. Common dolphins, easily distinguished by their long beaks. They may be moving into shallower water for calving. Whatever the reason, their dusky hosts make them feel welcome. Each seems to recognize the others as fellow travelers. They socialize. Perhaps they're sharing stories. And just like that, the magical encounter ends. By late morning, much of New Zealand is starting to swelter in the summer heat. It's a lovely sunny day on the eastern side of the Southern Alps, the mountain range that runs the length of the South Island. But on the other side, it's a completely different story. December is one of the wettest months in one of New Zealand's wettest locations. And today's weather on the west coast is no exception. As the wet westerly winds hit the mountainous barrier, they rise and form clouds. And that suits the locals just fine. The kea, a mountain cousin of the lowland kaka, is the world's only alpine parrot. A late morning shower doesn't faze them. They're superbly adapted to these conditions. These birds with yellow around their eyes and beaks are juveniles. They have a much bigger problem than a little rain. Finding sustenance in such a harsh environment isn't easy. They need to rely on dozens of different foods, from berries and leaves to grubs and bugs. One way to learn what's good and how to get it is by watching the adults. So today, class is in session. What is she up to? Let me try that. Is this edible? Young kea have an insatiable curiosity and a love of trying anything that's new. Scientists say they're one of the most intelligent birds on the planet. And the Kia would probably agree. But Kia are not the only problem-solving wonder birds. On barren White Island, the gannets are contending with the unremitting midday sun. Panting helps a little. But it causes moisture loss that can lead to fatal dehydration. Although there's cool sea all around, the half-developed chicks can't reach it. But the adults have figured out a solution. And it grows close to shore. The parents on nest duty parachute in cool, wet seaweed and press it against the overheating fluff balls. While one parent minds the chick, the other is out hunting fish. The gannet hunting party soon spots a pod of common dolphins with the same mission. The birds and the dolphins face the same problem: finding the fish in all that water. Dolphin's strategy is to team up. As the day progresses, different common pods join forces. 50 sonar detectors are better than 20. 100 are better still. Gannet's strategy is to follow the dolphins. Experience tells them that the mammals are good at this. Dinner can't be far off now. While the northern commons are just getting serious about hunting, the southern duskies have the afternoon off and soon get down to one of their favorite pastimes. They do this for fun as much as for procreation. It's one of the few times you can tell the sexes apart. The female is always on top. Ever curious, one dolphin finds a possible toy and passes it to another. Soon, dozens of dolphins are playing a rousing game of pass the seaweed. For the young, every game is an opportunity to learn new skills. Like this sweet fin-to-tail maneuver. Duskies are among the most acrobatic members of the dolphin family. Skills learned at play will be put to good use when the time comes to hunt again. In the Auckland Islands, a sea lion mother returns from her hunt. Males are waiting for a chance to intercept and mate with her. But she needs to get back to her pup. Her strategy this time is escape and evasion. She's agile and fast on her flippers. And she's had the good sense to hide her baby in the undergrowth, away from all that lethal testosterone. Mating males care only about creating next season's pups. Even the sub-adult Samis never stop trying. Cranked to the eyeballs with hormones, the Beachmaster's pursuit of his females is relentless. The tiny pups are in constant danger of getting underfoot as he swaggers around his territory. The 400-kilo beast doesn't even register what he's doing, or the mother's desperate attempts to get him to move. Male aggression is the biggest killer of baby sea lions. Only when he spies another male getting too close to his harem does he shift his hulking body. And rob the skewer of another easy meal. Off the coast of White Island, the dolphin pod has been growing. By late afternoon, a superpod of over 1,000 common dolphins is sweeping the sea. They finally find what they're looking for. A school of sauri. With practiced efficiency, the dolphins begin to herd the fish into ever tighter balls. They take turns, charging into the ball to snatch a meal. The gannets see what's going on below and rain out of the sky. They fold their bodies into arrows that plunge 9 meters below the surface. Some strikes are dead on. But the panicked fish are ever-moving targets. No problem. Gannets are those rare birds that can flap to swim as well as fly. By the time they surface, some have spent 30 seconds underwater pretending to be penguins. Off the Auckland Islands, far to the south, the real penguins are doing the same thing. They're more like tiny feathered dolphins than birds. They chanced on this shoal of fish on their way home. The perfect end to a successful expedition. The yellow-eyed chicks will eat well tonight. Back on the beach, the lucky sea lion babies are already having dinner. Most are enjoying a meal of rich milk. But one hungry pup can't find his mother. His call goes unanswered. And other mothers can't help him. He doesn't know it yet, but his own mother isn't coming back. She's had a close call with the great white shark. Too close. The pattern its teeth have shredded into her belly are unmistakable. She's tried to make it back to her pup, but her journey ends on an isolated beach. Late in the afternoon, the penguin fishing party gets ready to run the gauntlet of sea lions. Speed and a quick sidestep are of the essence. There are no points for grace, just for getting home alive. But there's a straggler, a one-footed survivor. He may have lost the other to a sea lion or a shark. The wound is not fresh. One foot faithfully continues to take his turn, fishing for the family. One foot's lifelong partner and their two chicks are eager to see him. By the late hour, they must know he's not far off. Against the odds, the straggling one foot struggles into the vegetation. He's almost home. The other chicks in the colony are already gobbling down half-digested fish, disgorged by returning heroes. But One Foot's luck has finally run out. It's a double tragedy. One Foot's partner will probably abandon their nest. Raising chicks takes two parents. Perhaps that's one advantage to breeding in threes. Dusk comes first to the skua's Chatham Islands home. With it comes their food, as thousands of seabirds return to their nest burrows. Including plump little petrels crashing through the trees. And little blue penguins stumbling through the darkness. They've all come home with bellies full of fish to feed their chicks. Nearly an hour after lights out on the Chathams, Dusk approaches mainland New Zealand. Kaikoura's dusky dolphins prepare for their nightly commute. There's a distinct change in their behavior. Games and somersaults give way to loud body slams. It's sonic communication, letting everyone know it's time to head off for a night of hunting in the deep. It's been a picture postcard Southern Christmas. Gorgeous scenery. Happy youngsters. And plenty of seafood.